Hey guys, so you are currently in the third lesson of the week, and I'm going to show you how to do a question on compound interest. So there are quite a lot of components, which is the reason why I split this lesson up into two parts. Hopefully you did okay on lesson 2 and your answers are matching. If you're having trouble with your calculator, please let me know, and I'm glad to help you and meet on Google Meet. So let's do question number 3A, which comes from the textbook, page 433. Number 3, determine the amount of and total interest earned on a $1,000 investment at 4% per year compounded annually for 5 years. One of the strategies that I like to do is I like to write out my variables. So I'm going to do that on the left-hand side. I've got A, I've got I, I've got N, and I've got P. So let's talk about what each of those represent. The formula for compound interest, as you know from lesson 2, is A equals P, open bracket, 1 plus I, close bracket, to the power of N. So A is the total amount after the investment. P is your principal. Then you have 1 representing 100% of what you started to the investment with, and I being the interest rate. And you'll remember that we always turn this into a decimal. So if I have 4%, I have to make sure I change that to 0.04. Lastly, we have N. It's really important to remember that N represents the number of compounding periods. It doesn't represent the number of years. I think that was a mistake that a few people made on the lesson 2 exit ticket. N, we basically calculate by the number of times that it's compounded by the number of years. So let me just jot that down. Number of times compounded by the number of years. And you just multiply those two numbers. So since we're talking about that, let's go and fill out N. We are compounding annually. That means once a year. So I'm going to write 1 time. Okay. And for how many years? Well, that's going to be 5. So that's going to multiply by 5 years. And P, well, that's what I'm starting with. So that's going to be $1,000 that I'm putting in the bank. A, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to solve. Just going to switch back to a blue pen. So let's continue the next line. A equals, I'm going to write 1,000 here for P, and then 1 plus, remember, we're not going to put 4, otherwise we're going to get a mistake in our final calculations. I'm going to put 0.04, close the bracket, and then I'm going to put 5. And that being because I did 1 time times 5 years, which equals to 5. Okay? It's important that we kind of simplify what's inside the bracket. I'm just going to take out the $sign as well. When I'm putting in this calculator, just to make it a little simpler, it may be better to put 1.04 to the power of 5. If you have a calculator, take a look at the Google slide that explains the different types of buttons that are on your calculator. If you have the y to the x button, your calculator might do things slightly differently. So I'll just talk about the order of the buttons. If you have this button, what I would normally enter is I would put in 1 plus 0.04, and then I would get 1.04. After that, I would press this exponent button, or if you have another button, which is, if you have another button, which kind of looks like a little hat, this is called the caret, pronounced just like an orange carrot. So you would press that, or this button, and then press the number 5. The last step, you would multiply by the principal. So you'd hit multiply, and your number 1000. If you've done that, then your final answer should be 1,216.65. So play around with your calculator, see how it goes. If you're not getting that answer, then definitely set up an appointment with me. I'd be very happy to help. Good luck with the rest of your questions, and that's it for now.